would like to mention that I run a Tumblr called God is Prochoice. And I've had quite a number of people message me on that Tumblr and thank me for having a Tumblr that focuses on Christianity and the pro-choice movement. Why did I make that Tumblr, you ask? Well, when I went out seeking a blog or journal or account of any kind that focused itself on the discussion between pro-choice and being a Christian, I couldn't find one anywhere at all. So I took it upon myself to create a blog on Tumblr. And let me tell you, it has gotten quite a bit of fire since I made it, 2 years ago? 3 years ago? I forget. It's been so long. But I thought, why not bring that topic here to Miranda Rants? And that's precisely what I plan to do. This most likely is going to be an ongoing series because there are a lot of things connected to the Bible that I need to get out of my system, and this is the most effective way of doing it. But for today, we're going to focus on the Bible itself and the verses that are typically used to combat the pro-choice movement by anti-choicers. Now, as it stands, I cannot wear my contact lenses because I have begun to develop an allergy. So, I will need to go grab my glasses. If you'll give me just a moment, they're right over there. I'm gonna go grab them and put them on. Okay? Okay. There we go. Now I can actually see. Fascinating. For this particular episode, I even came prepared. Not only do I have notes, I have 2 pages of notes. I believe I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, there are 4 verses. The 4 verses that I have seen on my God is Pro-Choice blog mentioned over and over and over and over ad infinitum over that I am sick and bloody tired of refuting. But hopefully with this video, I can put this as another notch in my belt that this topic has been tackled not only on Tumblr, but on YouTube as well. So let's get to it, shall we? We will begin with Exodus chapter 21, verse 22. And of course, I will have the text here, right below, more or less, right about there, I think. For those of you who wish to read it at your own leisure, let's begin. If people are fighting and hit a pregnant woman and she gives birth prematurely, but there is no serious injury, the offender must be fined whatever the woman's husband demands and the court allows. But if there is serious injury, you are to take life for life, eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burn for burn, wound for wound, and bruise for bruise. Wow. How does this relate to the pro-choice movement? The way that I have seen anti-choicers use this verse is to proclaim that the serious injury in question relates to the child inside the womb being the party that receives the serious injury. And anyone with any semblance of common sense and reasoning would see that that is entirely not the case. Let's look at this in depth, shall we? It starts off with, if 2 people are beating the shit out of each other and a pregnant lady gets hit and she gives birth prematurely, but, keyword folks, but there is no serious injury, all that happens is a fine. Back then it wasn't like, hey, just give me $50. So honestly, if they didn't even equate the fetus the same level as, say, a cow or a pig, how much value does the fetus really have to begin with? If we continue reading the paragraph, but if there is serious injury, so the serious injury has to do with the woman. In short, if two people are beating the shit out of each other and a pregnant lady gets hit and killed, then it is a crime punishable by death. The fetus has no value in this verse. The woman, however, carrying that fetus does. Do you want to know why? Because fetuses can be easily replaced, okay? Even if it had been a natural miscarriage where there was no fight, no struggle, no hitting of the woman, no damage to her uterus, no damage whatsoever to anything that has to do with what's going on down here, she still has more value because she can get pregnant again. Logic! Isn't logic fun, folks? Shucks! I love logic. Now this one is rather popular. It is Psalm 139, verse 16. And it's one that I am sick to death of seeing these anti-choicers use. Especially because they have this superiority complex where they think anything and everything in the Bible that has to do with talking to God and valuing yourself as a human being has to do with them as well. It does not. Your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful verse. It's just, I'm sorry. I'm so emotional. It's a beautiful verse. But look, I hate to break it to you, anti-choicers, but King David is the only one this verse refers to. Not to you, not to your sister, not your cousin, King David. Sorry, get over yourselves. This is specifically a verse written by King David in awe and reverence of the Lord. Nothing more, nothing less. It does not mean that God saw you in the womb. And if we were going to go with the logic that God saw your unformed body before you were born, so fucking what? I'm of the mind that if God really is the judge and jury of what path your life is meant to take, who is to say that your path wasn't supposed to end before you were born? No anti-choicer has ever been able to dispute that claim to me. Every time I bring it up, they tell me, well, you can't know God's divine plan. Well, bitch, neither can you. I guess we're at an impasse, aren't we? But if this verse is any indication, it means that you still have a lot of Bible study to do. Sorry. Let's move on to number 3, and this is definitely one of the more popular ones I've read and heard and studied, and God, oh God, I'm so sick of this fucking Jeremiah chapter 1 verse 5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Shit bag. I am so sick of this verse. Over and over and over. You see it on memes and pictures and graphics on the internet. I'm so fucking sick of this verse. Can we please stop using this shit? Stop it. This has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with me or your neighbor or your mom or your dad. Nobody. The only person this verse relates to is Jeremiah. Okay? Jeremiah. And nobody else. You want to know why? Prophet. Woo-hoo! Prophet. That's your key word right there. Prophet is a word that was designated to certain people in the Bible. If every single person in the Bible was meant to be a prophet, what's so special about being a prophet in the first place then? If Jesus was supposed to be the prophet of all prophets, but yet every Joe Schmuck can become a prophet too, why the fuck is Jesus so important? This is only for Jeremiah, folks. It's only for Jeremiah. It's not for you. It's only for him. Sorry. Again, deal with it and get over yourself. That's gonna bring us into the funniest one of all, and the one that everybody knows because it's one of the 10 Commandments. It's one of those things that even people who aren't Christians know what the fuck it is. And we all know what I'm about to say, so let's just prep ourselves for the inevitable. You shall not murder. Well, here's what I have to say about riot. And I'm gonna put this down because I no longer need that shit. And I'm gonna take these off because I don't fucking need those either. Whew. Oh, I feel so much better. There we go. The reason why you shall not murder, or you shall not kill, or thou shalt not kill, however the fuck you want to say it, doesn't apply to fetuses is because fetuses, and by definition zygotes and embryos, the previous states of a fetus, are non-sentient, big words, and non-autonomous. Non-sentient means they do not have cognitive thought, and non-autonomous means they are not individualized beings. There we go. Feel a lot better now not wearing those glasses. Back to the topic. A lot of anti-choicers love to show you cute little graphics and designs and posters and little memes that they create to try and guilt trick pro-choicers into seeing the fetus as its own sentient being when it is anything but. Why don't censuses count them when it comes to figuring out what the population of a location is? I mean, if they're so important, why aren't they in there? Just food for thought. And on top of that, if you're so pro-life, oxymorons are so fun, and you think that life begins at conception, why don't you celebrate your -9-month birthday? I mean, you celebrate your birthday, meaning the day you were born. And you want to know why we celebrate birthdays? That is the day you became sentient and autonomous. But the one that I love the most is when anti-choicers come back to you and say, well, what about when a pregnant woman is killed and the baby is killed too? Yeah, you know, they count it as two. You want to know why? Because an abortion is a choice made by the person who is carrying the fetus in their body to remove it. It is their choice. The moment that a third party enters the picture, that choice has been taken away, especially if it is a wanted pregnancy. There would have been 2 lives in the world, but because the third party intervened, 2 lives were cut short. That's the difference. Pretty simple. But then again, anti-choicers have proven that they don't do so well with even the simplest of arguments, so it's not really all that surprising. And if that offends you, I don't really care. I'm not here to coddle the feelings of anti-choicers. You want to know why? Because your opinions aren't just opinions. Your opinions help to shape and mold the public opinion of governments, okay? And the people in power who make laws. Laws that keep people like me away from the safe sex education and birth control and resources that we need to make responsible decisions about our own fucking bodies. So, no, I have no sympathy for you. And if you were offended by this video, tough shit. I don't care. Deal with it. Because this bitch right here don't care. Sorry. But I'm not really. I'm not. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please hit the little like button because it really does help, and subscribe for future uploads. If you got any questions or comments, please put them down below in the comments section. Thank you so much for watching. Mwah! See ya!